unless that's an existing, I wonder if that was an existing matte shot that they used, and that may be why we get the McKinley and Sons. Maybe it was used in some of the film.
No, well, Dane references McKinley and Sons in the script itself, so he either knew what props he had or he didn't have.
He might have known there was an existing matte shot. Yeah.
He's writing his script in the props room, going, "What do I got here?
He's pulling the Ed Wood. All right, we got an octopus. We got a
So we're 43 seconds in. We cut to the interior of what looks like an abandoned ship. It's sparse. There's no equipment in there. It looks like it's been salvaged. Cornelius is on the floor, opening up the supplies. He's pulling out an orange. Zira is sitting in the doorway.
Door frame, yeah.
In the door frame of the ship where she can see the outside, and she's holding sweet Milo.
So while I get that it's cool that we're seeing the oranges so that we know how they're going to eat, what they have in that bag, the things they have. Why are the oranges all over the ground?
Because he's an ape. He don't give a shit.
I realize that you're going to peel the skin away and you're going to eat the interior part of that. But also, are they going to exist on how many oranges are there total? Like 6? Are they going to exist on 6 oranges for a whole week?
I don't know. How much do apes eat? He might have been looking for the Snickers.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know.
Sean, how much do apes eat?
I can tell you how to eat like a gorilla.
I do know how
much they eat.
I do know that I learned to peel a banana the correct way by watching that on like Discovery Channel. You do not go from the stem, you go at the bottom, and you just snip it.
You just pinch it.
What?
Banana.
So with a banana, instead of taking the stem like most people do, you know, and then you occasionally get it where it doesn't go, you simply flip it over to the bottom, the pointy end, and push your fingers together, and it splits apart. Because the seed...
You're shitting me.
The biggest seed is at the top.
That's how apes do it.
Yeah, the biggest seed is at that point, and they're designed so that it'll fall apart and, you know, throw seed out. And I was watching, and I flipped over like Discovery, and they're showing apes, and they're saying doing bananas the way that apes have learned to be more efficient. And the ape seriously goes poink, poink.
Yep.
And I was like, son of a bitch.
What?
Yeah.
My world has changed.
It is.
You have to rethink some core beliefs now, don't you?
I was 49 years old today when I learned how to open up a banana. Wow.
And here's the thing. I've said it before. I loathe bananas just like Zero, but I eat one daily because of how good they are for me. And so I literally, the day that I was able to go snip and do that and shove it in my mouth even quicker.
Oh, yeah. Why do you loathe banana? Like, I
know I've told this story before.
We had dinner with some friends, and they like railed, they're married, they're a perfect couple, all that kind of stuff. But they railed against bananas, and I'm like,
why?
Because they're all clones and they're gross, and I don't know what it was. And I'm like,
that isn't what bothers me. And I do like things that bananas are in. There's my mother makes a crepe that's a sunshine crepe that has like an orange marmalade with it. As a dessert, it's amazing. However, one of my first film production things was on a shoot where it was 105 degrees outside in Texas heat on cement. I got heat exhaustion, and the production manager, all they knew to do
give you potassium
was potassium. And so she was shoving bananas in us all day long, and it was a 2-day shoot. I ended up in the hospital for it, to the point where I almost got potassium sickness or something like that, where it's overdone. And now the smell of bananas alone takes me back there where I'm like,
there's a term for that. What's it called? Crap.
Vomit?
No. There's a term for there's a term for it's something avoidance. There's a term for when you associate a taste. It's a
taste or a smell or
taste
something.
or a smell to getting sick, and therefore you become. It's a biological. Evolutionary process where you then no longer have that because you got sick from it once.
Okay.
What's it called? Conditioned response?
Conditioned taste aversion?
Conditioned taste aversion. There you go.
Well, and it's where Shelley will often say when she'll tell people that I have like really good mind over matter abilities, and I really can just tell myself
a Jedi.
In that way, I'm really good because it's like, hey, this is going to be bad, but I got to do it. Bananas test me because the minute I shove it in, I swallow it, then I put the banana peel in the trash can. I have to go take my trash out right away because I can't stand the smell of a banana peel.
So I will say this: I had, when I was a kid, I got ill after at a nursery, and I got sick. I was sick for a couple of days. What I'd eaten right before that was banana pudding.
Okay,
and ever since that moment, anything that tastes like fake banana, I don't like.
Right.
And so that's when I learned that term, and now you're mentioning it now, and it makes sense.
Well, speaking of smell and all that stuff, not that I can smell, does Zira really hate the smell of man?
Thank you for getting us back on track,
over there.
We're like, woo!
So where does this minute end?
With her saying that she doesn't like the smell of man, they stink and stuff, and he goes, yeah, and it smells of oil and dead fish.
Hang on. Oil. How do they know what oil is? Do they have oil refining and whatnot? Because we've seen nothing about that.
Oil can happen naturally. Like an oil derrick pulls oil up from the ground.
We'll talk about it in the next minute because
the La Brea tar pits are oil.
The next line that Zira reads is almost a social commentary for the moment.
Okay.
Also, fish smell oily, don't they sometimes? No?
The smell of fish that they would be talking about is not oily. It's a very sharp, repugnant.
Do apes eat fish?
They do get 2% of their diet is meat. Yes,
Yeah.
so they can eat fish.
But do they eat fish specifically?
I've seen stuff where there are apes that I swear I've seen documentaries where there will eat fish.
Orangutans use simple tools to catch fish.
Right. Yeah. So the fact that the whole dead fish smelling weird should not
bother them
weird
so much.
As much. Yeah. Did Lewis really play here as a child? Perhaps it was cleaner than Stinks of Man. That's oil and dead fish. I mean, it's actually really kind of a nice interplay between the two of them because we don't see them talking about mundane things. Mm-hmm. And this is almost kind of a mundane conversation. I liked it. I actually liked this conversation, this back and forth between the two of them.
I did too. Again, it should have happened a minute ago.
Yeah.
Before the threat of Hassline coming over. It does, knowing that Hassline just spotted them, it does take the, this mundane conversation and makes it seem very trivial based upon the weight of what appears to be happening.
Or it makes it seem sad that they're having it when we know the threat is existing just outside the door. And that for that reason, I can understand why they said, hey, and it is the weird thing about film. If you juxtapose one thing here, it means something else to a scene as if it goes here. It does put the threat immediately outside, but I don't need it. And if they did this because they didn't have the ability to get Hassline there, you put a matte shot in. Go get me a shot of Hassline driving a car. You're going to tell me that you couldn't, for less than $1,000, get a 16 millimeter camera because you would not have to have 35 to have a shot of him driving it. Just get me the shot, put it in. It's wrong. It should be the other way.
I loved her judgmental. Did Lewis really play here as a child? Play here. And it was kind of funny because Dane did want the emphasis on play, and she does put the emphasis on play when she says it. And I'm looking at this abandoned shipyard, and I'm like, I would have been in heaven. Oh yeah, as a child,
kids would have loved that shit.
Yeah, but I love this, with tetanus and everything too.
But I love this mother figure saying, "Did he really play here? Oh, this is disgusting."
Right. Come home with a broken finger or missing tooth.
I know. And then of course, she has to interject. It stinks of man, right? Which is a shipyard, so it was mostly soldiers that were here at some point, naval officers, and this commentary she's making about it just reeks of what people smell like. It's kind of fun.
But
and Cornelius is like, that's oil and dead fish. I mean, Dane's bringing up they're both at a oil field and a shipyard. Like, hey, by the way, we've got these two things smashed together here.
Yeah. The whole stinks of man thing would have had more impact had she been complaining about that in previous movies. Like, when she's have all the humans in cages, if she was holding her nose or just clean the cages, it stinks in here, stuff like that.
Or she had a clear startling moment of putting something under her nose so she doesn't smell it.
Yeah. I will say this though, the moment of Zira speaking in this and in the next, the lighting on her is actually really, really good.
I agree.
It really brought the makeup out. It really brought her eyes out. It really just kind of, I don't know. They actually look really. Both of them look really, really beautiful in this moment. They look believable as these characters.
I really, really like this scene, and what we're going to talk about tomorrow. I really like it. I just can't get into it because it feels in the wrong place, and it bothered me entirely. And even when I did that whole thing of watching straight through 10 minutes, that's where I came up with this. Why isn't that before? And from that point on, it bothered me. And with that being bothered, I guess we're at the end of minute 88.
You're going to have to be bothered for the rest of the day.
Oh, poor Todd.
2 more days to be bothered. Hey, it's Wednesday, though.
It is Wednesday.
And what does that mean? New comic book day.
Yeah.
What's coming out today, Richard?
Go get you some new comics.
Comics.
Do you know? It is for, this will be 2 weeks from now.
Oh.
No, this will be this Wednesday.
No.
Yeah.
We got those are coming out. I've already put them in. This will be the Wednesday after.
Hey guys, we record these every single day. So if you're listening to this almost live.
We all meet together every day and record.
We do. Every day.
So with comics, do you like have a good idea of kind of what the hot ones are? You would know release dates if something's coming 2 weeks from now.
I will be honest. There are 150 titles that come out every single week, and my head is in the stuff that came out this past week, the stuff that's coming out next week, the stuff that I've ordered for 3 to 4 weeks from now, the stuff that I've ordered 60 days from now, and the stuff that I've just retired to go to back issues. Mm-hmm. So if you walk into my store and say, hey,
what's out this week?
I'm looking for Dreaming number 15, I have to go, I don't know if that's out or now or not. I have to go, I have to do the research. It's hard for me to remember numbers of things just because like I'm always 60 days ahead and 60 days behind and into next week and into last week and into this week, and it's really hard for me to remember numbers.
So you're the comic book store owner watching the comics book store owner watching the comic book store owner placing the ad for 60 days.
Man, I'm always in the wrong lane. Let me just say that.
All right, that's a perfect into it. That's Richard. That's Sean. I'm Todd. Everybody have a great day.
Bye. Bye, everybody.